From Nashville Public Radio, I'm Blake Farmer, and this is Nashville. It is our dreaded spider episode. Confession, my basement is full of them. And yes, we see the brown recluse from time to time. Fall is when the males are looking for mates and a warm place to winter. Why not in your coat closet? We have pest control specialists, scientific experts, and even a proud spider owner and enthusiast to debunk some myths and help us coexist with our creepy, crawly friends. And we're taking your calls. Got a question or a spider encounter to share? After the news, this is Nashville.
Sharing news and stories from the voices of Middle Tennessee. This is Nashville. Our show is made possible by Music City Prep Clinic. This is Nashville is in service to you. So if you have an idea for the show or feedback you'd like us to hear, leave us a voice message at 615-751-2500.
Live from NPR News, I'm Lakshmi Singh. A federal judge in San Francisco will consider whether to pause the Trump administration's mass layoffs of federal workers during the government shutdown. NPR's Andrea Hsu reports today's hearing comes as the administration says layoff notices so far have gone out to some 4,000 people, with more to come.
Unions representing federal employees have asked the court to halt the layoffs already underway and to stop federal agencies from issuing new layoff notices. They argue that the Trump administration has overstepped its authority in telling agencies to carry out the reductions in force or RIFs amid the shutdown. The Trump administration argues the court lacks jurisdiction to hear the case, and that such matters ought to be taken to the federal agency set up by Congress to hear challenges to RIFs. Meanwhile, President Trump continues to blame Democrats for the shutdown and says it's an opportunity for him to end, quote, Democrat programs, those he never wanted and will probably never allow back. Andrea Hsu, NPR News.
The United Nations Development Program says reconstructing Gaza after the war could take more than a decade and $70 billion. NPR's Anas Baba reports from Gaza City. Crews are beginning an initial cleanup of debris.
10 bulldozers have begun clearing rubble from key roads to allow residents to return and move freely. Gaza City Mayor Yahya al-Sarraj announced the start of a major cleanup and recovery effort, financed by Qatar. He said the municipality has a clear three-phase plan. The first will take 6 months, the second up to 3 years, and the third, which is full reconstruction, may take a decade. Damage is estimated to over $2 billion in Gaza City alone. But the challenges are enormous. Most heavy machinery in Gaza is destroyed. Cement and spare parts are urgently needed. And vast amounts of debris still block the streets. For now, he says just opening a few main roads will take 2 weeks. Anas Baba, NPR News, Gaza City.
The fate of a key provision of the 1965 Voting Rights Act now rests with the U.S. Supreme Court. The justices heard arguments today in a Louisiana case over whether states should draw electoral districts that favor minority voters. Big banks are earning some big profits. NPR's Scott Horsley with details.
Bank of America and Morgan Stanley both reported better than expected quarterly profits, fueled in part by robust deal-making fees. B of A helped two big railroads couple up this summer, while Morgan Stanley helped brew the coffee merger combining Keurig Dr. Pepper and Peet's. The solid results echo the profit reports from other big banks earlier this week. And this was the day we were supposed to get an inflation report for September. That report's been pushed back until next Friday, though, as a result of the government shutdown. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
This is NPR News. The average amount of money a customer spends on a new vehicle has topped $50,000 for the first time. This week, the automotive valuation and research company Kelley Blue Book released a report that finds the average transaction price in September was 2.1% higher than the month before and jumped 3.5% from a year ago. The report says the increase is aligned with the long-term average of inflation and the price people pay for a new car. New data from Consumer Reports on protein powders finds many best-selling products contain traces of lead and other heavy metals. NPR's Allison Aubrey reports the organization is calling for stricter regulation from the Food and Drug Administration.
Consumer Reports analyzed 23 protein powders and shakes and found about 70% contained levels of lead that the group says is concerning. The FDA sets a threshold for lead that is acceptable in baby food, but the group is asking the FDA to establish limits on lead in protein powders. Children and pregnant people are most vulnerable to potential harms, and experts say one way to minimize exposure is not to consume too much of any one product. Lead levels in plant-based products were about 9 times the amount found in dairy-based products. One explanation is that lead has accumulated in the environment and is often detected in trace amounts in crops including rice and peas, which are used to make protein powders. Allison Aubrey, NPR News.
Now seeing the Dow's down 22 points, the NASDAQ has gained 54, the S&P's up slightly. You're listening to NPR News.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Progressive Insurance with Snapshot, which monitors safe driving habits to determine a personalized rate at Progressive.com, not available in California or from all agents. This is NPR.
Funding for This Is Nashville comes from you, our listeners.
And Harpeth Hall, a Nashville independent school for girls in 5th through 12th grades, with admission preview day on November 2nd. Details available at harpethhall.org/admission.
I'm Blake Farmer, and this is Nashville. Last weekend, I was driving to the Smokies and going through the town of Townsend to avoid the chaos of Gatlinburg. It was early, the sun was up, but the dew was still very heavy. And driving down this long black fence row, I saw hundreds of sparkling circles. And for a moment, I thought this was a very ambitious Halloween decoration that someone had spent many hours on. Then I realized, no, these were real spider webs, all covered in droplets and catching the morning sun, and they were beautiful. Well, on our show today, we are talking about native spiders. Why? Well, it's spider season. You tend to see more of them this time of year. I think part of it's because the males are looking for a mate. They're also looking for a warm place to get out of the cold, which might be your house. And a lot of times they move in with us. We're going to talk more about that with our guest this hour. Spiders may make your skin crawl, and you may have the temptation to turn off the dial. I encourage you not to. It's useful to know what's actually worth being scared of. And spoiler alert, there's not too much to be worried about, even with the brown recluse, which is why we literally have a brown recluse sitting in the studio across from me. A microphone is pointed at it. Its owner is our first guest, Andrea Van Vegel. She's a spider enthusiast who has more than 100 arachnids at home right now, waiting for her to return. Andrea is originally from England, which is where she found her love for these 8-legged web designers when spending time in the garden with her grandma. So your grandmother gave you your love of spiders. Andrea, welcome to This Is Nashville.
Hi.
Well, we're streaming video today, youtube.com/@WPLN, if you want to check out this brown recluse, although it's kind of hiding at the bottom of this container for now, but it'll pop around here, youtube.com/@WPLN. We're also taking your calls. Are you on the Spidey Squad? Have you conquered a fear of spiders? Where do you find them indoors this time of year? We want to hear your experience in Middle Tennessee. Call us at 615-760-2000. You can also just chime in there in the chat at the YouTube stream, youtube.com/@WPLN. All right, so Andrea, how did you become so fascinated with spiders? So fascinated that you even became a collector.
Yes. So as a child, as you were saying, in England, me and my nanny, my grandmother, would go around the garden and poke at spider webs. And then when I moved to the States, when I was about 5 years old, I caught my first black widow. And unfortunately for my mom. And
wait, so tell me this story. What you find a black widow? Did you know what it was at 5 years old?
I don't remember. I think I thought it was cool and showed my mom, and she was a little bit panicked about it. But yeah. And pretty much, like, I always kept the spiders that were around the corners of my house. I'd keep them as pets. I'd feed them fleas off my dog.
Whoa. So you would do what?
I'd feed them the fleas off my dog and stuff like that. And I had, like, a little book of stats for them and who's eating and whatnot. And then even in high school, the person I was dating didn't like my pet brown recluse. And they bought me a tarantula. And it's gone downhill ever since then.
Yeah.
It's been like 18 years, and I've got, different types of different species of Luxosceles, which is the brown recluse, from all over the world. I've got, anything I can get my hands on, and it's been 18 years since then, and I'm still just trucking along.
How does one come about them? I mean, I wouldn't even think these are things you can go buy somewhere.
You can. There's a lot of online dealers and breeders. There's
breeding spiders.
Mm-hmm, it's a huge thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you Luxosceles. This is like the genus of the brown recluse.
Mm-hmm.
And so are they all? You could consider all of them a brown recluse?
And they're all in the same family. They're all in the same genus, but they're all different species.
I see. So, you have a very active Instagram account where you post photos of spiders that you've found or that you own otherwise. And the brown recluse does get quite a bit of attention, and you even have some fun with it. Let's listen.
When you're cooking dinner and you reach for a dish, it's reclusy. Now it's time to get clean, might find something you fear, it's reclusy.
It goes on. It's beautiful. You're talking about where brown recluses are found. Where do people find brown recluses in their home, and why are they in their home?
Why are they in their home? Probably just to find a reclusive spot. I'm not sure. Probably just to get away from the weather, or just nooks and crannies. They're usually found, but like underneath bark and stuff and trees, so I can see like where a house might be welcoming. And where in the house you'll find them is I often find them in the bathtub. You'll find them in cardboard boxes that you have like stashed in your house. Be careful opening those. I found most houses that aren't built in the last couple of years have probably a brown recluse infestation around here.
Well, to folks who are listeners and kind of freaking out as they're listening right now about needing to check what's in the boxes in your basement, the number to call. Where have you found brown recluses in your house? Because they're all over the place. The number to call is 615-760-2000. We'd love to join you on the air. 615-760-2000. I saw another post where you found a dehydrated brown recluse and decided to give it some water, which is its own story, I guess. But someone responded that they got bit by one. Like in the comments, they were saying, I got bit by one, caused a little damage to my leg, left a nice little indentation. And they said they wanted to not be afraid of them and asked for suggestions. What's your suggestion?
Basically, knowledge is power. The more you learn about something, it takes a lot of the fear away. And then also exposing yourself. Like if you see a spider, like, if you're out on your porch or something and you see a spider in a web, sit there and just watch it. And they will sit there and groom themselves. And, they're not you'll learn that they're not actively trying to come get you,
Well, I mean, that's even in the name. And just if you're just tuning in, there's even a brown recluse here in the studio. If you care to watch today, it's a good one to do that. Although he's not she, I don't know. She. It really is. We would know. This brown recluse, does it have a name?
No.
But in this container, it's mic'd up, but she's not saying a whole lot. So you're going to have to just watch it. YouTube.com/@WPLN. You can also leave a comment like Shan Can't Spell, who says, I have a large jumping spider with some blue little hairs that live in my Honda Fit. I have named him Steven and have to let people know when they ride with me that this is his home too. I imagine you can identify with that, Andrea?
Sounds like a bull jumping spider.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Is that what you asked?
I didn't mean identified. I really meant that you kind of leave spiders alone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how do you handle this? Our managing editor, Tasha A.F. Limley, showed us a picture of her back porch, which was covered in spider webs because she didn't want to mess with them because they were so beautiful. How do you kind of balance the leaving them and, not getting people asking too many questions?
It's a good question. I think it's just up to the individual and what they're more concerned about.
Yeah, certainly that. If you're just joining us, I'm Blake Farmer. This is Nashville. We're talking spiders with local enthusiast Andrea Van Vegel. Where do you find brown recluses? Have you ever gotten over your arachnid anxiety? You can join us on the air, 615-760-2000. So we'll get to other spiders. It's just that the brown recluse gets so much attention, and they are everywhere. Do they spin webs? Like if you are seeing webs in the corner of your basement or your garage or something, was that a brown recluse necessarily, or are they less webby?
They do have webs, but they're more like a little mat along the ground, and they're going to be kind of where they can get under the nooks and crannies and like closets or the corners, or where like your flooring and if there's a little crack between where your wall and the flooring is, they might be under that.
They're just they're kind of everywhere. The name recluse is because they are reclusive, right? They do their own thing. Well, let's take a call. Stephen in Castilian Springs, you're on This Is Nashville. What's your brown recluse story?
Yeah, I actually have probably a few hundred of them at my house.
That you want there, or that you would like to be gone?
No, I'd like them to be gone.
Okay.
I've been bitten in the back of the leg, and I had to go to the ER with that in a plastic bag because they need to identify it to make sure that they're going to give me what I need. And actually, when I got there, it was in a plastic bag, and I couldn't find it. And it freaked me out. I thought it got away in my pocket. And actually, we found it in a corner of the bag. They identified it, brown recluse, and gave me a topical and an oral to take care of that.
Like an antibiotic,
so
you think?
Lucky. Yep, 2 different types. And I have those actually documented to make sure if I go again for that problem. I have one currently alive in a jar, so the things that I fear most, I keep.
Wait, you don't want it, but you still kept it in a jar.
I have a different one.
Okay.
I have so many. Yeah, I keep it, and then I feed it red wasps when they come after me. So
that's actually how I got mine, was to let the to get rid of. I had an infestation. I was just putting them together, and then I ended up with the biggest one.
Wait! You had say that again. You had an infestation, and you just picked the biggest of the litter.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that now, but because but that was back in high school, and I was just I've never had an infestation so bad, so I was just keeping them and duking them out.
Wow. Well, Stephen, thank you for sharing. I hope no more bites are in your future.
Yeah, me too. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Let's go straight to another caller, Andy in Madison. What you got for us on the spider front?
Hi. Well, first of all, I just want to give a shout out to my favorite Facebook group, All Bugs Go to Kevin.
What?
I know that group.
Andrea's nodding with you, so she knows it.
Yeah. It's a great site. You can have them identify spiders and bugs for you and learn to appreciate that insect world. But you all were talking about cardboard, and you have to be careful because you might find brown recluses hibernating in there or living in there. So I've been gathering a whole bunch of cardboard the last few weeks to put in my garden this fall to get rid of the weeds. But now I'm thinking, based on what you said, am I possibly introducing brown recluses into my garage and maybe into my house?
Well, it's a good question. I would say probably you're not helping the cause if you don't want them in there. But Andrea, is there anything? I mean, really, you could just handle it with gloves and stuff, and you shouldn't have too much to worry about. What do you think?
Yeah, gloves will be fine. I hadn't seen a brown recluse in the wild until this year.
Really?
I've only seen them in homes, but I've been doing a lot of actively searching for them. But they're usually underneath like bark and trees and stuff like that, or up against in a shed. And so I think if you just have it out there for a little bit, it's not gonna.
Well, and Andrea, talk to me about this point that I've seen a few places that it's not simple for them to bite you, right? Like
Correct.
You almost have to work to get them to bite you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to physically be pressed up against them.
Yeah.
Their fangs they can't penetrate unless they're being helped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have, I've seen videos of you even handling them on your bare hands. What gave you this bravery?
I don't think I was actually handling them, but
but I saw your finger.
My finger's really close. I don't mind getting close to them because
Okay.
I know that I'm not going to get bit. I don't purposely handle any of my spiders, just because it happens. But I've been doing this for so long that
Have you been bit by a recluse?
I've not been bit by any spider.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And you've been around them so long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Andy, best of luck with your cardboard and your winter gardening project, and hope the brown recluses stay away. Appreciate the call. Let's take one more call. Alice in Murfreesboro. You're on This Is Nashville. How do you feel about spiders?
I love them. Spiders are our friends, just like snakes are.
Mm-hmm.
There are more good ones than there are bad ones, and they kill a lot of other bugs that are much worse for us. I wouldn't be like your coworker who lets her whole back porch gets covered. I talk to my spiders and I remind them, I'm sorry, I'm having to break your web. You know, this is a place you can't build a web because this door has to open.
Well, Alice,
they're beautiful, and
yeah.
their webs are beautiful, and their bodies are beautiful. So many of the spiders are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, is there a certain kind of spider you look out for and let them leave their web up?
Oh gosh, you would ask me that because there's a kind that my son and I absolutely love, and I can't remember what it's called now. But there are webs that I leave up. Maybe your person can help me. The kind that they leave the big zigzaggy mark in the middle of their web.
Yep, they're called Argiope aruntia. I can't remember the common name off the top of my head right now.
I think they're sometimes just called a garden spider.
Yes, garden spiders. I think they have several names, but garden spider is one of them.
They are a garden spider.
Yeah.
And I love it when they put them up in one of the windows in the corner so I can leave it and I'm not going to be hitting it like when I'm doing yard work or anything.
Well, and that way you don't even have to decorate for Halloween, which is a real gift.
Exactly. But their artistry and their engineering skills are amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And Tasha has looked it up, and it is the yellow garden spider. I think you're probably talking about there. So, yeah, it's beautiful.
It's the yellow orb weaver.
Orb weaver, that's what we're looking for. Okay. Well, Alice, thank you so much for the call. We'll take a break here in just a moment, but one of the points here I don't want to get lost is Andrea, even as you say, you're not I accused you of handling your brown recluses. You don't. You might get your hand near them. But, I saw, even Vanderbilt put out a study in the last decade or so, kind of warns of complications that can happen, mostly with children, that might even require hospitalization from a brown recluse bite. But interestingly, I found it interesting anyway that there's no test that confirms it was a brown recluse bite, kind of like Stephen was telling us. So if there's been a bite, are people supposed to try to find the...
Nobody. Yeah, if you see the spider, or if you saw the spider physically bite you, keep it and get
try
it
to
professionally,
catch it.
professionally seen and identified. However, nobody can. If you've been bit, you cannot take your hand or wherever you got bit and be like, what bit me? Nobody can tell you.
Right. Yeah.
There's no way to tell.
Yeah. Well, which I'm sure kind of leaves people in fear because you're like, oh, is this a spider bite? It seems different than a mosquito bite, but maybe that's just the way we've got to live with it. What I read about the recluse was that often you wouldn't even feel it if they bit you. It's not like a bee sting or something like that. Does that sound correct?
I don't know for sure.
Right.
But I knew...
Might be different depending on the person.
It could be too. But the bites, they're so rare. And then if you have a reaction, that's also rare. And then if you do have a reaction, it's usually not more than a dime-sized bit of necrosis. Not saying that, the more awful situations can happen, but that's extremely rare.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we need to take our first break. But listen, the Spider Chat is still going strong, and we'd love for you to join us on the air. What's been your experience with spiders here in Middle Tennessee this season or in years past? 615-760-2000 to tell us your spider story, or join us in the chat at youtube.com/@WPLN where we're streaming video today. Andrea Van Vegel is a spider enthusiast who's staying with us. When we come back, we'll have a professor of entomology from TSU to help us understand some things. Stay with us. This is Nashville.
Funding for This Is Nashville comes from you, our listeners. And Amazon, proud sponsor of WPLN's daily show, This Is Nashville, engaging our differences so we can discover our unity. More on Amazon's community work at aboutamazon.com. And Tennessee State Parks, with a variety of getaway accommodations, including cabins and lodges, guests can experience the great outdoors without giving up modern amenities. Learn more at tnstateparks.com. And Tennessee Performing Arts Center presenting the Improvised Shakespeare Company October 18th and 19th. Based on suggestions from the audience, actors create an improvised comedic work using the language and style of Shakespeare. Details at tpac.org.
Next time on The World, a charter flight for dogs. It's attracting lots of pet owners.
People are so got a deeper relationship, I think, with their pets than ever before.
With thousands of Americans relocating overseas, demand has grown for flights that cater to their pets. Kibble and wet food without the tray tables, next time on The World.
This afternoon at 2 on 90.3 WPLN News.
I'm Blake Farmer, and this is Nashville. It's an hour dedicated to our eight-legged roommates. We've talked about the spiders we have to worry about and why we don't have to worry as much as maybe we think about them. And now we're talking about the spiders we might want to welcome, because while some of us may see spiders as a pest to get rid of, the truth is that a lot of them are doing some pest control for us. Joining the conversation is Associate Professor Kaushalya Amarasekare. She is an entomologist at Tennessee State University in the Department of Agriculture Science. Welcome to This Is Nashville.
Thank you.
And we still have spider owner and enthusiast Andrea Van Vegel with us in the studio, and her brown recluse that does not have a name. But what questions do you have about spiders? Spiders you've seen this season, spiders you've seen in the past. How have you overcome your fear of spiders? Have you had a negative experience you'd want to share with us? Join us on air at 615-760-2000, or just drop something in the chat of the video stream, youtube.com/@WPLN, and you can check on our brown recluse that's here on the video. And, she is being fairly still for us. Well, Kaushalya, we've been talking about spiders that we find in and around our houses, but how do spiders tend to behave out, in the fields with the farmers that you work with?
So they are... Some spiders, they make webs on crops, and then some are not, but they are predators of the small bugs, so the pest bugs. So we can keep them, so not to harm them, and because they are very sensitive to insecticides. So
you're saying spiders, the insecticide you might put out to kill the pests, will also get the spiders, and that's not necessarily a good thing?
Yes, because spiders have very soft skin compared to beetles. Like insects, they have a little harder skin, so, outer covering. So if I cannot say growers not to spray insecticide if they have to spray insecticides, but we tell if you absolutely needed pesticide, then only use them, because you harm all the good bugs like spiders. Spiders are the number one predator of all insects, compared to all insects, birds, and other animals together. So they do an amazing job in pest control, and it's a free service.
A free service? You're saying that spiders, let's say out in a field of soybeans or something, are killing more pests, bugs, than like the birds, the bats, everything combined.
Yes, that's what it is. So they are seriously important.
Wow.
And people are scared of spiders, but what we see on crops, on like broad daylight, they are not waiting to catch us. They are waiting to catch their prey, and like aphids to other soft-bodied insects, or their eggs, or their young ones. So they can do a basic job, so let them be there. Or if you cannot, you absolutely needed to spray insecticide, maybe you can grow some plants in borders and other areas that you are not growing some plants and some mulch and stuff, so they can live without getting sprayed from the pesticides.
We've got a question on YouTube. They ask, if I move a spider outside, let's say that was in their house, will it be okay?
It will be okay because they have amazing power to survive. And that's basically what I do too. If I cannot figure out it's a brown recluse, a lot of brown spiders are there, like house spiders, and also cellar spiders that we call daddy.
Or cellar spiders are the like tiny body with the spindly legs, right?
Yes, and they are get confused with daddy long legs. Daddy long legs are not spiders.
What?
But yeah, they are called
Opiliones.
Yeah, harvestmen. They are different type of arachnids, but not spiders. But the cellar spiders have smaller, longer body.
Yeah.
But they have very long legs, like daddy long legs. So we can keep them at house if you can figure out. But if you are kind of not sure about their brown recluse, you can either get a pest control opinion, somebody else's opinion who's an expert, or I normally catch them and let them go outside.
Wow, she's a catch and release pro over here. All right, let's go to the phones. Rayanne in Hartsfield, what have you noticed there in your garden?
Well, I have a big organic garden. In fact, I'm gardening as I talk to you. But I've
I love that.
There's been a huge decrease in all insects, including spiders. I saw none of those golden orb weavers this year. But what I really wanted to talk about, you were talking about what kind of interesting spiders, and I'm going to tell you that I had 13 very unusual interactions with the same black jumping spider. And I know that they're very intelligent, but this thing was playing with me. It would jump on my finger when I put it down, and then it would jump off, and it would jump on my hand, or it would jump on my foot, whatever I presented to it. And it would turn and look at me like it was looking me straight in the face. It was really wonderful. And I have it on video.
On video. Well, you must share it. I'm sure Andrea would love to put it on her Instagram page or one of the other pages that we've heard about today. Andrea, does that sound, are jumping spiders known to kind of mess with us?
Well, they're very smart.
Like people really think they have some sort of intelligence, not.
Yeah, just because their eyes are so big, they're calculating. They are watching you. I don't know, not brown recluse, sorry. Jumping spiders are, yeah.
And this is radio, not the best medium for helping people visualize something, but what does the jumping spider look like? Is this a hairy spider?
I mean, some of them have like little spikes on their heads, but they got the big eyes and they're really cute. They're like if anybody's going to like a spider, it's going to be the jumping spider.
Oh, it is? All right. Well,
they have very good eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they don't make webs.
They don't make webs?
And they are watching the prey, and then they stalk, and then do an amazing jump to catch it.
They stalk their prey.
Maybe the lady who talked.
Yes, but we don't have to worry about the jumping spider, right?
No, every spider can bite, but they are not venomous. Or whatever the venom they have is very not venomous enough to harm humans.
Yeah.
So they're enough to paralyze their prey. So, but insects or spiders, they harm. They get scared. Then that's the only time they bite us. So,
I see.
Because that's their world. We are invading their privacy or their territory.
Well, best of luck gardening, Rayanne. Beautiful day for it. Let's take another call. Daryl, I think you're calling in from Old Hickory. What story you got for us?
Yeah, I have a funny story about. We built a pool about 5 years ago, and every morning I go out to clean the skimmer out, and I pull the lid off, and the handle of the skimmer sticks out of the water a little bit. There's always a spider, brown recluse, on top of that dry stem.
Is it the same one waiting for you?
Well, yeah. I just be careful and empty the skimmer, and next morning she's right back in there. But 2 years ago, and now it's been 3, I get up and go open the skimmer box, and she's on top of the handle, but she's got about 50 little bitty babies on top of her back.
Wait,
little, just tiny. You can't hardly see them.
Really, Andrea?
They're so
Is that
small.
how this would do brown recluses? The babies stick with them?
That's a wolf spider.
Oh, it's a wolf spider. Well, all right. So describe what a wolf spider. A wolf spider is much bigger, right, than the recluse.
Well, there's different species. Some are pretty
okay.
small, some are larger.
Okay.
But some species can get pretty large.
So what do you think Daryl's seeing there? Just a wolf spider with its babies on its back. Wow. Well, is that more comforting or less, Daryl?
Well, it's more comforting. And about the same. Really, I wasn't scared of the brown recluse either, but that's good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Well, Daryl, appreciate your call and your story, and best of luck keeping the pull. Well, I guess you're entertaining those wolf spiders, so that's good for them. Kaushalya, can you kind of bring us in with it's one thing for a field and a farm. Are there benefits to having spiders around our houses? Obviously, people don't love having them inside or having webs or anything, but like around the outside of the house, is it a good sign?
So there are house spiders and there are cellar spiders. They feed on all small bugs inside the house. And it can be others, venomous spider, like brown recluse or other spiders, eggs to young spiderlings to other insects. There may be carpet beetles. So it says it's okay to have them there because they are doing some good job. But if you're not sure, they look like brownish and tannish in color. So if you think like brown recluse, maybe get an expert opinion on that. But other one is like black widow, that is obviously black and have a very nice marking on them, red marking, hourglass shape. So that is obviously you should not, you have to be careful with them. But generally having spiders is not bad, but people don't like them inside the house. Outside is probably okay.
Well, James on YouTube says, one day I took a mug from my collection for a cup of tea, and only after I'd finished drinking, did I discover the dead brown recluse within. I'm still waiting for my superpowers, he says. Feel free to drop in your spider story in the chat if you're watching at youtube.com/@WPLN, or join us on air, 615-760-2000. We love taking the calls. Andrea, I feel like folks who, I really didn't mean to talk about brown recluses all day, but listen, they're just sort of everywhere. But I feel like if you see one or you think one is a brown recluse, people think there must be an infestation. They're everywhere. Is there any reason to think when you see one, there are many more?
There probably are. It's Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, but you say you don't see them in the wild. It's more in the house? Yeah.
I think a lot of it's because, like, where he was talking about his mug, they can't climb smooth surfaces, so they get trapped. And so I feel like you're more likely to find them because, like, why find them in the bathtub a lot is because they'll fall in.
Oh, they can't climb
and
out.
They can't get out, and that's why you will find them in places like that. Or if you have, like, a cupboard with your dishes and mugs and stuff like that, and you have everything upwards, you'll catch them.
Yeah. Well, I see, because they fall into the slick mug or whatever it is. They really cannot get out. Well, that's too bad for them.
And they like the undisturbed places too.
Right.
So sometimes attics to garages to those places. So inside the house.
Tell us where you've found spiders. The number 615-760-2000. Andrea, how often do you find this? Obviously, Daryl's been watching this spider for a long time, thinking every day that he's seen a brown recluse, and it's probably not one. Are people just quick to assume something is that?
Very much so.
Why?
This is probably just because of fear, and not a lot of people aren't educated on the subject, and they see a brown spider, and
because a lot of them are brown.
And wolf spiders, a lot of times people think wolf spiders are brown recluse, and a lot of those are brown. However, like, the best way to look for on a brown recluse is they have 6 eyes, like an arrangement of 6 eyes, where a lot of spiders will have 8. A lot of our more common spiders, it's not very common for our local spiders to have an eye arrangement of 6 eyes.
How close do you have to get to inspect the eye arrangement of a brown recluse?
It depends on the size of the brown recluse.
Like, I'm looking at the one across the table from me here, and I certainly cannot tell eye arrangement, and I don't know that most people want to get too much closer than that. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, they also have like the sorry.
Kaushalya.
Yeah, so their body has on their head and thorax area fused. So in the thorax, they have upside down violin shape on the body. So that's one of the
And smooth
main
legs.
characteristic to identify brown recluse from other brown color spiders.
That and the smooth legs as well.
Well, they're smooth, but they're not spindly like those cellar spiders. I mean, there's some thickness to the leg, but not hairy at all. Yeah, interesting. Well, I wonder how you handle finding spiders, let's say at your house. Do you clear webs at all, or you just let them roll?
I just let them roll.
Really? What is the safest way? Let's say you see a brown recluse. If somebody wanted to not kill it but remove it, what's like the best technique you'd suggest?
Getting yourself something like a pencil or a paintbrush or. Just
Why is there a paintbrush in here? Andrew just picked up a paintbrush, and I'm thinking, did my daughter, was she in here painting? I don't think so, but okay.
No, I use paintbrushes to manipulate my spiders.
Oh, you brought that?
Yeah. And so in case we needed to move the brown recluse around, I would poke it with the paintbrush.
I see. So you're saying take something like a paintbrush and what? Kind of let it get on the brush?
No, get like a cup and then just, gently tap the back of its legs, touch the back of its legs, and it'll run in. And then, you can, if you're really afraid, you can put something over it. But chances are, unless the cup's dirty, it's not going to climb out of the cup.
Well, if it's a brown recluse, it can't really climb out of it, right?
Yeah, so, unless it's like dirty, got stuff on the sides, it's not going anywhere.
You got to worry about that. Kaushalya, is there anything people can do to keep spiders out of our living spaces without killing them? Are there options?
You mean inside the home?
Well, I guess so. I mean, do people spray for spiders?
Yeah, they do. You have exterminators. They come and spray. So there are like older houses have more tendency to have a lot of spiders, and also if there are other bugs and stuff. Specifically wintertime, I think when temperature going down, they probably sneak into house somehow. So it's good to get some kind of advice if it is brown recluse or other venomous spiders, because children, elderly, and immunocompromised people can have more reactions.
Yes.
And black widow, you have to take medical attention.
Yeah, well, the black widow, I read that the venom that they have is actually more potent, I guess, than a rattlesnake. But I guess there's so little that it's. But it sounds like you essentially need some kind of anti-venom if you go.
Yeah, there are hospitals provide that because it has like a muscle contraction. If it's bitten on upper part of the body, you may have some chest pain and stuff.
Right.
Difficulty in breathing. But I read an article saying that lower part of it is kind of little different.
Yeah.
But if you are allergic or a vulnerable person, it's better to get medical care.
Well, the black widow, I at least in my memory, saw one when I was, 10 years old or something in a playhouse. I recall it pretty vividly. I don't think I've seen another one since then. Do you see black widows very often, Andrea?
I've only seen one in the wild since when I was 5, and that was the one I caught as a child. And then otherwise, friends will catch them and bring them to me, but I just have really bad luck, apparently.
So the black widows you have been brought to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you've got a black widow, maybe we've got. Let's work in one more call, and then we'll take a break. Denise in Brentwood, you got any help for us on moving spiders?
Yes, actually, I grew up in the north where we didn't have brown recluses, but my mom always moved any bugs outside. So what I do is I put a glass over it. I get it like wherever it is. I put the glass on top, and then I take like a postcard or something and slide it under. Because when you put the glass over it, they realize pretty quickly that they're trapped, and they kind of start jumping around. And so you can slide the postcard underneath without harming them, and then just kind of carry it, almost like a little presentation, like you have the glass over it like a cloche.
Watch out for the leggies.
Kind of like.
Andrea says, watch out for, I guess, crushing their legs as you're doing that. That's why she suggests the paintbrush. But yeah. Well, this is beautiful. Denise, really appreciate the phone call. We need to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to someone who is trying to get into the mind of a spider. And our experts will still be here offering their perspectives on one of the most famous spiders in history. Stay with us. This is Nashville.
Funding for This Is Nashville comes from you, our listeners. And One Community, presented by the Tennessee Titans Foundation, creating generational change one person, one family, one community at a time, by impacting lives in between Sundays. Learn more at TennesseeTitans.com/community. And Wildwood Resort and Marina on Cordell Hall Lake, offering corporate and nonprofit retreats, getaways, and celebrations, 1 hour east of Nashville, year-round. More at visit.com. And Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee, working to help donors make more possible through the power of community giving. More at cfmt.org.
When you choose to make a substantial contribution to WPLN, you are investing in the future of this community by helping ensure that vital information is freely available. Learn more at WPLN.org/legacy.
Hi, I'm Ryan Van Velzer, Managing Editor of the Appalachia Mid-South Newsroom. We're here to tell the stories of our region and the people who call it home, from the mountains of West Virginia to the busy streets of Nashville. Learn more at WPLN.org.
I'm Blake Farmer, and this is Nashville. If you're looking for a poster child who can help us come to embrace spiders, Charlotte is a good candidate, as in Charlotte from Charlotte's Web, the one who helped save the life of the pig Wilbur by stitching words into her web and making him a prize pig that no one would ever want to slaughter. The Nashville Children's Theater is putting on a production of Charlotte's Web, which starts after Thanksgiving, runs through the first of the year, and Maya Antoinette Riley is the actor cast as Charlotte. Welcome to This is Nashville.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
We're also hanging on to our TSU entomologist, Kaushalya Amarasekare, and spider enthusiast, Andrea Van Vegel. So let's see where this goes, this spider discussion. So, Maya, how are you preparing for the role of Charlotte?
Well, this has been very informative and great preparation.
So.
Just being here. I've learned a lot. And full disclosure, we haven't started our rehearsal process yet. But, as actors do, we start well in advance of getting any scripts or getting in the room. So I've been revisiting the story. It's a favorite story of mine when I was growing up. And revisiting the world of the story and trying to get into the characteristics of Charlotte A. Cavatica.
Yeah,
I
wonder if she was an orb weaver. I mean, I don't think it's identified in the story. Andrea, you might know, but I assume you probably have read Charlotte's Web somewhere along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's identified as what kind of spider it is, right?
Well, actually, Cavatica, and this is from I get to have my moment.
Oh,
my spider research moment. But Cavatica, I believe, I have read is a nod to the Latin name for the common barn spider, which is like Araneus cavaticus.
Wow.
Looking at you, okay. Because I don't know if I said that right.
I feel like I've read that too, but I haven't seen any of that in so long. But I'll look it up and.
Okay, common barn spider. We'll update it. Well, so do we know what we don't know what we do know what kind of spider Charlotte is? That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
That we do.
A barn spider. Mm-hmm.
So the story is that she is stitching these beautiful webs in a barn. Kaushalya, would we typically see spiders making webs in barns?
It is possible.
All right, so it is possible. Would we see them interacting with pigs?
No, I haven't. I may be, but I don't have that experience.
Yeah, I would hope not. If you're just joining us and thinking, what on earth are they talking about? I'm Blake Farmer. This is Nashville. We're taking a turn in our spider conversation, talking about one of the most famous spiders of all time, Charlotte. Maya Antoinette Riley is playing the lead role in the upcoming production of Charlotte's Web at Nashville Children's Theater. We still might have time to work in a spider story if you've got one and want to share it on the air. 615-760-2000. Or if you're streaming video on YouTube, it's youtube.com/@WPLN. You can just drop your comment in the chat, and we'll try to work it in here. So Maya, how do you think you'll be making yourself look like a spider on stage? I have not seen a stage adaptation of the book. Do you have 8 legs? I mean, do you know what the costume is?
I cannot wait to be pleasantly surprised on day one of rehearsal. Our costume designer for this is the resident costume designer at Nashville Children's Theater, Billy Diddy. He is fabulous. Everything that he touches is amazing. So I'm very excited to see what he concocts. He's been keeping it on the down low, keeping it kind of secretive, which excites me personally. And as for the set, I know that there's going to be some climbing involved for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's going to be cute. You should come through.
Wow, so you'll be climbing on stage at the Nashville Children's Theater.
Mm-hmm.
This is a check from behind the glass there. Latin name for a common barn spider, Araneus cavaticus, which I think is what we were talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the original, most specific barn spider and the one that inspired the name of the spider in Charlotte's Web. Maya, what's your relationship with spiders in real life?
Honestly, I just kind of let them rock.
No biggie. You got that brown recluse to your right over there? And you're just,
No, and I've been looking in on it, checking, being like, how you doing, girl? You okay?
There she is
and
at the bottom.
Oh, she's looking very special over there. I wish y'all could see.
Very special.
But yeah, I'm not really bothered by spiders. I pretty much let them rock. When I was in elementary school, I went to a Montessori school, and a lot of my teachers were very into the natural world. And I also saw a black widow at school in the playground, and we were like, what's that? And the teachers were like, calm down, it's a black widow, like, let it rock. And I took that personally and have since that day been letting spiders do their thing. I know that they're good for our environment. I know that they're overall good for the world, so I just let them do their thing.
Yeah. Well, Andrea, I mean, it's to go back to the garden with your grandmother in England all those years ago. Why did it impress on you so much that she was like, we're not going to take down the webs. We're not going to, these are not something to get rid of. Why did that stick with you all these years?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do like how your teachers, they impressed upon you, like, you just let it be. It has a lot to do. A lot of people think that the fear is ingrained in us, or like
right, like we're hardwired to think that thing on your is that a black widow on your shirt? Yeah, that I see that and it gives me. Oh, that's for your Instagram page, Andrea.arachnid on Instagram. Go check it out. There's a lot of videos and stuff. But you're saying some people think that like there's something innate within us that thinks that looks scary.
Yeah, but it's really how you see your peers and your people you look up to interacting with them. It's not a learned, or it's a learned fear. Yeah.
Well, Kaushalya, you've been you've made your life in bugs, and as I learned, the arachnid is not even a bug, an insect. Is that correct?
That's correct. Spiders have 8 legs, and arachnid order is a big category of arthropods. Insects are one class. But insects have 6 legs and spiders have 8 legs, so that's a difference.
But even for you who are into bugs, are spiders sort of in another class that tend to maybe frighten even those who are used to working with bugs all the time?
Yes, spiders scare people. So in a way, because of their look, and they might be harmless most of the time. But I think it's a general perception about spiders. You don't have to be. They are great part of our environment, ecosystem. So we have to be respectful for them, like not to kill all the spiders we see in this world, because they are giving us a free service. Specifically, what I do in my job, like controlling pests in crop production, spiders comes as number one. So we should let them be.
You really are. This is no exaggeration that the spider can be the number one pest reduction plan in the field.
Isn't that amazing? So they bypass all the birds to collectively birds, other insects, and some other lizards to amphibians. Collectively together, spiders can bypass all of them. How they control the bugs.
Well, to bring it back to Charlotte's Web, which of course, why wouldn't we? The story ends. Spoiler alert here, with Charlotte dying. But she leaves a sack of eggs behind, I believe. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
Kaushalya, is this normally like the life cycle of a spider, that they wouldn't be around to raise their young?
It depends on the species. Some make one sack in their lifetime. Some make several. The spiders who make just one sack, they produce a lot of spiderlings, like thousands or more, because they won't. All of them wouldn't survive. So the percentage might be very low, so they make more. So if the 10% survive in 1,000, it might be 100. But if you only lay 100, you have only 100 spiderlings. If 10% is 10, so they make more to increase their survival rate.
I see, but they don't necessarily raise them, although we heard the wolf spider might have them carrying them around on her back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have great maternal instincts, like we don't think like that for spiders, but they do.
Maternal instincts in the spider. Maya, get ready for this. This is your study session for Charlotte's Web at the Nashville Children's Theater. I love that.
Absolutely.
Andrea, we got a comment from Willow Gomez on YouTube. How does one get into the field of studying spiders? I've been obsessed with spiders my entire life, have 2 spider tattoos and counting. I guess there are plans for more, and would love to take classes on them. Did you consider making this kind of a professional thing more than a hobby?
I have not done anything like that. I'm a high school dropout, and it's just been I've been learning and everywhere I can. I have been taking through the Tennessee Naturalist program. In fact, not this weekend, but the weekend after, I'm going to take a spiders class out in the field and stuff. So
who's doing that?
Tennessee Naturalist program.
Tennessee Naturalist program. Kaushalya, how would someone sort of get into the field where you're studying spiders? Because that's separate from entomology, correct?
It's a part of entomology, but each of us select our own specialty area. So I selected mostly like agricultural pests that can harm our crops. But there are people who are working on spiders. They only work with spiders. So you have to be a little bit explore. Some universities, if it is like a bachelor's program, you can find that scientists or faculty working on spiders, spider research and stuff, and you can learn more, or the classes they are providing.
Well, there are many things to still learn. We've just scratched the surface here on this spider episode. But we started with the scary part. We've gotten to the storybook ending. And I want to say thank you to our guest, spider enthusiast and collector Andrea Van Vegel, entomologist Kaushalya Amarasekare of Tennessee State University, actor Maya Antoinette Riley playing Charlotte in Charlotte's Web at the Nashville Children's Theater. Please take a bow. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in this hour and for your calls. This is Nashville is a production of Nashville Public Radio. If you missed yesterday's episode, we talked about the friction between affordable housing and our tendency toward NIMBYism, not in my backyard. You can catch up in the podcast feed at thisisnashville.org or ask a smart speaker to play the latest episode of This is Nashville. Today's episode was produced by Josh Deepen, directed by Tasha A.F. Limley, who's also working the cameras. Answering the phones, Mary Mancini. Our board operator today is Michael Pollard. The masterminds behind our theme music are LaRange and Namir Blade. Special thanks to Aquatic Critter. The conversation doesn't have to end here. You can comment, tell us what you want to hear. Right now, send us an email to thisisnashville@wpln.org. You can also find us on the socials. This is Nashville. I'm Blake Farmer. Go in peace.
Vanderbilt's Liberal Arts and Science program is designed to be ideal for working professionals and lifelong learners. MLAS offers flexible scheduling with evening classes taught by Vanderbilt's renowned faculty. Spring courses include Human Flourishing, A Life Well Lived, as well as Social Justice and Global Literacy Studies. Chart your new intellectual and career journey, now accepting applications. Details at vanderbilt.edu/MLAS.
This is 90.3 WPLN,
Nashville Public Radio,
and 91.7 WHRS Cookeville,
Nashville's home for Morning Edition and NPR News.
WPLN.org is where you can find more from WPLN News, including the Nash Villager, your human-powered newsletter and podcast, exploring Nashville news and history. Subscribe to both at WPLN.org.
Funding for Here and Now comes from MathWorks, creator of MATLAB and Simulink software, accelerating the pace of engineering